Hi there, it's Karen at Corrie Paper Crafts, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in central Scotland. Welcome back to another Simple Sundays project, and it's this little treat box here. It's a tent fold box, so it's a cardstock box inside a DSP belly band, and it's really quite small, really handy for little gifts just because, or table favours for birthdays, Christmas, even wedding favours if you like. It's really quite small. It measures 1 3/4 inches by 1 1/4 by 2 inches tall, and it doesn't use very much at all. Really handy if you only have 6x6 designer series papers, because the belly band is 6 inches long. So quite handy from that point of view too. Just ignore that little tear there. I changed the sentiment on the front because I wasn't happy with the one that I'd put on before. So a little sneak peek with this and the one I'm about to make from the August to December mini catalogue. This DSP here is the Plaid Tidings DSP, which is a 6x6 pack, and it's sort of tartan-ish papers, lots of lovely patterns and colours. I really like that in here as well. So the colours that are in this are, let me see, Basic Black, Cajun Craze, Cherry Cobbler, Cinnamon Cider, Mango Melody, Melon Mambo, Misty Moonlight, Pretty Peacock, Pumpkin Pie, Rich Razzleberry, Seaside Spray, Shaded Spruce and Whisper White. So that's a really good pack to get if you want quite an array of colours, but it's not available quite yet. It's a sneak peek of the new catalogue, which launches on the 4th of August. So I'm going to make another one on camera. I have made this before. I think I've done a video maybe about a year or so, just over a year ago, but I've been asked for the dimensions in centimetres as well, so I thought I'd be as well just to do another quick video to say that. So in centimetres, the dimensions of this are 4.5 centimetres, 3.5 by 5. So I'm going to show you how I made it and give you another quick sneak peek from the new catalogue. You will need a piece of cardstock which measures 6 inches by 3 1/4 inches, which is 16.6 by 8.3 centimetres, and for the belly band a piece of DSP which measures 6 inches by 1 3/4 inches, or 15.3 centimetres by 4.5 centimetres. And this gorgeous paper here is from another new set, which is a 12 by 12 set, which is coming in the new catalogue, and it's the Gilded Autumn Specialty Designer Series paper. So if I just spread this out a little bit and let you see all the fronts of these, and then I'll show you the backs. So the beautiful foiling on the front, I think you can see all that there. Gorgeous colours as well. We've got Cajun Craze, Mint Macaron, I'm trying to think what other colours are in here. Let me see. Cajun Craze, Crumb Cake, Early Espresso, Mint Macaron and Very Vanilla. So they're foiled on one side, and if I carefully turn them over, you've got no foiling on the other side, but these gorgeous autumnal patterns as well. So a lot of scope with this particular paper, and I just love it. This is the first of me using it for today's project. So this is the sheet that we're using. So let's do some scoring just very quickly. And apologies if you do get any glare on my scoreboard. I've tried to adjust my lights and the tripod, but it's a very small desk, and at the minute I'm sharing it as a craft desk stroke work desk with my hubby, who's currently working from home. So on the long side of the cardstock, the 6.5 inch side, or the 16.6 centimetre side, we want to score at 1 3/4 inches, and at 3, at 4 3/4, and at 6, and in centimetres that's 4.5, 7.7, 12.1 and 15.3. And then before we turn it round, we're going to put tick marks at 2 3/8 and 5 3/8, which is 6.1 centimetres and 13.7 centimetres. Turn it clockwise because this is the top of the bag, but we're going to put a score line here for the bottom, so the tick marks need to be at the right hand side, and we're going to score it at 1 1/4. And that's all our scoring done for on the scoreboard anyway. We've just got a couple more things to do. The tick marks are just a guide for doing the diagonal lines that give us this nice fold on the side of the box. So just putting my ball tool in the corner where these scores overlap, I'm just going to join those up to that tick mark at the top. And when you do place your ruler with the tick mark at the top, don't put it right on the tick mark, because you'll find that your score line's off. You've got to allow for the tip of the scoring tool, so just slightly to the left. Make sure that you hit that mark just right, and from here up to here as well, and that's what we're left with once we've done all our scoring. So a bit of folding and burnishing. There we go. And did I say already that this was very vanilla cardstock, because the background on the DSP is actually very vanilla. And then we're left with this. So this part is the bottom, and the bit with the diagonal scores is the body of the box, and we're going to do some cutting. So we have 2 rectangles and 2 squares, and this small thin rectangle at the end, which we're going to remove. And I'm just going to cut up that score line and angle both ends of here like so. And then I'm going to cut straight up my rectangles, removing my score lines onto my squares, but I'm going to cut those a little bit less squint and straight up the rectangles, leaving the score lines on the squares like so. And then I'm just going to notch into both those squares, because these are the flaps that are going to be on the inside of the box, and that also takes the score line away once we've done those notches as well. So this is what you're left with, come off, once you've done all your scoring and all your cutting. So I'm going to just grab my silicone mat and pop some of my Stampin' Seal Plus down the side of here, oops, to join my box together at the side like so. Now the Stampin' Seal Plus I love because it stays in a straight line here, it doesn't curl around or get stuck to anything, so you can take it right to the end of where you need it to and then just fold it back on itself. It's really quite well behaved. I do like it. We are becoming friends. We weren't to begin with, but I've learned what I was doing wrong. I tend to lean a bit too heavily. So I'm just going to fold this over and join that together. So that's the back of my box. So I'm going to put in my 2 sides, and I'm just going to pop a little bit of Stampin' Seal, I'm being too tidy now, onto the back flap like so, and just fold that over and stick it down, and then a little bit on either side of the front flaps just to stop any gaping, and a bit along the edge just here, and oops, pop that down as well. Now I did stick that down a little bit squint, so I'm just going to trim that overlapping bit, and then when I push in on those score lines at the sides, those help it to fold in just nicely. So with the designer series paper for the belly band, I tend to start halfway across the bottom, like so, and just pinch it on that first turn round the bottom of the box. Make sure I straighten it up and give it a burnish so that that gives me something to hook onto my box so that I can then take it round the rest. And I'm not putting it too tightly round because it needs to slide in and out. I don't burnish this top bit, I just give it a bit of a pinch. But then when I come to this last turn at the bottom, I give it a pinch and then I do burnish that so that I've got nice neat turns at the bottoms of my box but not over the top. So I want to start where this back seam is. I want to hook that part on like that because this is going to come round and the join is going to be in the middle, which makes it nice and neat but facing the back of the box. So what I want to do is add a little bit of my Stampin' Seal. You can use your Stampin' Seal Plus if you want, but I'm just going to use my seal because it's just designer series paper. So pop a couple of bits on there and just wrap that round again and join together without pulling it too tight, and that's my box made, and I've got plenty of room to slide my box in and out of its belly band without it being too tight. So making sure that I've got the seam facing towards the back of the box, and that's where the seam is on the actual box. This is obviously going to be the front. Now I've done this ahead of time. I've heat embossed in my gold embossing powder onto a piece of very vanilla cardstock, and I grabbed a scrap of my bronze foil and I cut out a 1 inch or a 1.5 inch circle using the 1.5 inch circle punch. And sometimes when you put foil through a punch it can actually raise a little bit at the edges, so I just turn it over and make sure I flatten it down again like so, and I think I just moved my grid paper there. So I'm just going to use a bit of I use liquid glue. I did a trial with my Seal Plus and I didn't get it centred in the middle. The thing about using wet glue on top of foil is that it takes just a little bit longer to set, so just be very careful about that, but it still gives you room to manoeuvre that around to make sure that you're happy with it once it's in the middle. The trick is not to put too much glue on. I did that earlier and I got it squishing out the side and it was a bit of a disaster. So there we are, and that's just a nice frame round about. So we've got some foil here, some glitter here, and then I just use a couple of dimensionals to pop onto the back of there to stick it onto the box. So one there and one there. And there we are, and the one thing I have forgotten to do is put my little bit of bling on, but I'll do that just now once I've stuck it down. So happy with that in the middle, and then I'm just going to grab my champagne rhinestones. I've actually got lots of my clear rhinestones. They've all fallen off the backing, I'm not sure why. I'm just going to grab my take a pick and bring some putty out of the end, grab a little rhinestone and just pop that on there like so, and that is my box made. Nice and quick and really quite easy and really quite pretty too. So thanks for watching. Go ahead and try it and see how you get on. I'd love to see them if you do make them, and Now that I'm back from my holidays, I should be back with a few more videos for you, and until I see you again, take care, stay safe, bye bye.